what happens with moments like this is disinformation and misinformation goes crazy, and you can see it happen in real time. Like we already know because this happens all the time what's going to be spread online in a matter of minutes. There's going to be false allegations of who the shooter is, of, you know, what their politics were. There's people who are going to be creating these narratives so that they can fit their biases, so that they can fit their narrative. There's bad faith actors who use these moments of panic, of uncertainty, of crisis to to share posts that get a lot of traction. Like there are Twitter accounts that copy paste the same conspiracy theories, make it seem like it's fact, and then when that's debunked, like they don't have any personal responsibility because that's not something that they care about. They'll share it and then they'll move on to the next thing. Like I know the first thing that I saw being shared around was a picture of this guy who turns out to be an Italian soccer journalist named Marco Violo. This guy. So people were sharing his photo. They were sharing this photo, and I'm sure people on the right who were sharing this thought, oh yeah, this guy's Middle Eastern. Oh, okay, that fits my confirmation. Like what I already thought to be true. And now I'm seeing that this guy is the shooter. I see this video of him. It was like a 2-second clip where he's like doing that. And this was something that a family member sent to me, and I was like, okay, important learning moment. You are sharing something that is unsubstantiated. Not even Fox News, not even any of the right-wing media publications and outlets that you get your news from are sharing this. You're getting this from places like Facebook, where somebody is sharing a post that they had sent to them that is not substantiated. And then you in turn are sharing that. And that's how misinformation spreads. So the people who put this out in the first place, they did it intentionally. So the difference between disinformation and misinformation is that disinformation has intent. The intent is to purposefully spread misinformation. So the people who did this are like, this guy has already dealt with harassment. He's been dealing with harassment since 2017. And so his harassers chose this moment to share his picture, change his name around, and make it out to be that he was the shooter, even though we knew pretty early on that the shooter had been killed by the Secret Service. But still, this was shared. This one, let's see, do I have it? This one was shared. Like Don Lemon shared this. So this is a Twitter troll. His name is like Jew gazing, something like that. And he like posted a video. This one, here it is.
Republicans, I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
This was hours after the shooter was confirmed to be dead.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
Okay, so here's what I will say. Don't do this. Don't do this. Even if you think it's just a joke, if you think it's funny, At what point are you going to understand that there are a lot of people online who won't understand that this is a joke? They won't get that you're just trolling around. They will think that this is serious, especially because he kind of looked like the picture. Like, we have more pictures of the shooter now, but the first photos that were released look similar to him. And this adds fuel to the blazing fires of misinformation that are like ripping through the internet. Honestly, hope that weirdo 4chan Nazi gets charges from this as in response to someone trying to shoot the former. I don't even know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is. I only know him because I saw his picture being shared so many times by people like Don Lemon, which again is very scary because Don Lemon is supposed to be a fucking journalist, right? So it's not just he's a Groyper 4chan Nazi. Oh, wow. Okay. And also he's just a dumbass. What a dumbass. Why would you do this, dude? In the midst of an attempted presidential assassination, it is so fucking serious. It's so serious. It's so serious. Why would you do this? Anyway, so all this stuff flying around online, and the thing is that even as more information comes out, and we've already gotten more information since the shooting happened yesterday, we know who the shooter is. We know where he went to high school. We know that at one point he had registered as a Republican. Even as information comes out, people have already formed their narratives. They're already believing the things that they choose to believe, and it's very difficult for a lot of people to recognize when they have fallen for something that's not true, that's intended to misinform them, and B, change their mind when given new information. So that's why I said, like, it matters that the shooter was a white guy, because it, hopefully will lead to less violence and less retribution had the shooter been from, any of the various marginalized groups in this country. But it also doesn't matter because people will choose to still believe what they want to believe. And that is what's really scary about this whole thing. And unfortunately, with Trump, he has now cemented this narrative that he and MAGA and everybody on the right are victims in this country. That they meaning us, the woke left, DEI, Barack Obama, have been coming after them. And, they tried to imprison me. I did everything right and they still indicted me. I did everything right and they tried to assassinate me. Like, come on. He's going to say that. He's going to say, I did everything right and they tried to assassinate me. Because it doesn't matter that they was this one dude who we still don't know his motives. We don't really know much about this guy. But it doesn't matter because this is a political war. And for years now, Trump and his followers and other right-wing politicians and pundits in this country have been putting forth this narrative that they are victims, that they are, that their lives are in danger for trying to trying to lead this country in the right direction, for trying to expose the corruption, for trying to tell the truth. This couldn't have been any better for Trump. It really sucks. It does suck. Like, when Will and I were sitting there yesterday, we were looking at all this. We were looking at everything. We both just kept going, oh my God. Trump couldn't have written this better if he tried. Like, this could not have worked out any better. And it's this strange thing with Donald Trump where he almost feels like a mythological creature. There are so many things about Donald Trump that defy reality. He has so much plot armor. And he is just, time after time, able to control the narrative and get people to see him as this selfless, heroic martyr who is the one. Like, he's the one. I was looking at, for example, Uncle Jank put out quite a few tweets that kept doing the whole "you gotta hand it to him" type of thing, which no, you don't. Okay, you do not need to hand it to Donald Trump on anything. But he kept saying about how, like, fucking rad it was, and how props to Trump supporters and yada yada. And so many of the comments were like, I'm so glad, Jank, that you finally see what we've been trying to tell all of you for years. I'm so glad that you've come over to the right side, that you've seen the light now, because that's the mindset. That's how they feel. They're like, we've been telling you for years that we are fighting the good fight here, that we are engaged in a war against people who want us dead, and they want us dead for knowing the truth. They want Trump dead for being the leader through this holy war. Yeah. You need to watch this clip. It literally happened like this.
That we gave to this ship.
Someone's taking a shot at me. Call it 3,300 yards. That'd be the longest kill of all time.
What is this from?
DT.
Is that Bradley
Piper.
Cooper?
She'll breathe out before she shoots, so let's think this through.
Man, can you ever imagine if we have a presidential candidate who's as young as Bradley Cooper is in this
Not on the
movie,
table,
in
obviously.
Limitless?
I could jump out of the way. Not bad. But what if the bullet just grazes me? Yeah, that'll do.
If the bullet is crazy. Oh, man.
I'd like to give the same dignity to our veterans that we gave to this ship.
Someone's taking a shot at me.
Oh, my God. Someone's taking a shot at me. OMG, Cenk gave Trump a W. Dude, I saw... Let me see what tweet this is. Yes, he kept tweeting stuff like this. One more credit to Trump and his fans today, and only today. Trump sticking the hand up and saying, "Fight, fight, fight," while the crowd chanted, "USA, USA, USA" was badass. Let me tell you, people chanting USA after there has been a shooting where somebody died and others were injured and the presidential candidate almost died, like, chanting USA, I'm sorry, that's not badass. That's terrifying to me. Like, look, I understand optically optically, Trump with the fist raised and the photo and the blood, like, I get the picture that it sells. But as far as being swept up into this like Hollywood movie of USA, like, yeah, what an awesome scene. What a badass scene. No, dude. No. What are you talking about, Jank? That is not normal. That is something that like we're trying to actually, if you're a leftist, do the opposite of, which is not normalize shootings. Is there anything more quintessentially USA than a public shooting? No, you're right. And that's why when I see people like Jank go, what fucking badass, what a badass moment that was. It's like, Jank, we're talking about real life violence, dude. Like a person at the rally died. Others were injured. More could have died. What are you fucking talking about, man? People died. Like chanting USA, USA. Ah! That, you know, I have to say, I'm not excited for The Boys next season, where they're just, because The Boys has gotten so on the nose with what's happening in American politics. Like, they're not even trying to hide it. They're just going to be doing exactly everything that is happening in our real life politics right now. Imagine you're the guy whose dad just got blasted at the Trump rally. Everyone's cheering USA like we just took gold in the Olympics. Yeah. And then this comment under Chang's post, I thought so as well. Very iconic. Some of the media disapprove, though. And Chang goes, fuck that. If I got shot, I'm also saying fight, fight. Anyone who criticizes him for that is nuts. Okay, Jank, but you're saying two things here. You're saying Trump going fight, fight, and then the crowd chanting USA, USA is awesome. Do you understand what's going on here? Do you get that this further radicalizes people? Where when their presidential candidate, when their holy leader, who has spent years spreading this very insidious narrative that he is a victim, that he is that the left wants to kill him. Okay, first they try to steal the election from him, then they try to throw him in prison, and now they try to kill him. Like, this isn't being blamed singularly on the 20-year-old who did the shooting. No, this is being blamed on the left. So what this represents, what that moment represents, is not something fun and cool and badass and heroic, not to mention that it was a situation of extreme violence, which is, yeah, something that we're used to in this country. Like, oh, we just have mass shootings all the fucking time. The blood of children just bathes every stone in this country who have died from mass shootings, because we have a problem with gun violence in this country. And then I see Jank write this shit. I'm like, oh my God, dude, you are such a pig sometimes. Atrocities being treated as sport. Yeah, dude, that's the kind of stuff you say at the bar with your buddy, not online as a statement. And I think also recognizing that the optics of Donald Trump, after having been shot, having blood on his face, having Secret Service all around him, like raising his fist, yada yada, the optics of that being very powerful versus the moment itself, like the entirety of the moment, where a shooter unleashed 8+ shots on a presidential candidate and on a crowd of his supporters. People died, people were injured, And like just the violence of that moment, that being treated as this badass moment, that ain't it. Yeah, I know, I saw this. God protected President Trump. Okay. So God protected President Trump, but then chose not to protect someone else who was sitting in the audience behind him, who was shot in the head. Boy. And God, what about all the kids who have been killed in mass shootings? God didn't protect them. It's only President Trump. Trump is the one who has God protecting him because he's the second coming of Christ. It's the meme. It's a meme in China. It's a meme in China. Holy shit. Anywho, there is a lot that is being discoursed about in regards to the attempted assassination on Sunday. But the thing that the two things that are most concerning, is how rapidly disinformation and misinformation spreads, and how we can see it in real time, and how we know already how things are going to line up because of the political divides in this country, and because of how this is an ongoing issue of this is an ongoing issue of false information being used to justify people's beliefs on both sides of the aisle. And this current political environment, which is just so incendiary, and everyone's going to believe what they're going to believe. And so it just feels like so few. It feels like your average voter does not have the ability to recognize when they are falling for information that fits their narrative, and how when other information, like the factual information, comes to light, they also don't have the ability to accept that information. People are just existing in separate realities. Within hours of the shooting, there was already merch commemorating and responding. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. It's right up there. It's right next to the Hawk Tua merch. People only accept what they want to hear. Yeah. And look, we are all guilty of having confirmation bias. We are all guilty of seeking out facts that fit our currently held beliefs. And what we have to do is we have to constantly challenge that. We have to be able to identify when something is coming from a source that is not substantiated, and when we are choosing to believe something because it fits our narrative. And when we don't have information on things, holding back. Like, we don't have to give our opinions and state them as fact when there is still new information coming in. Like, it's just so dangerous how everybody now quickly decides what the truth is, and they share that truth as if it's factual. So that is one thing that's incredibly concerning and something that I think about all the time when incidents like this happen. And then the other thing is what this means for the election, what this means for the future of this country. And Joe Biden, I jokingly said to Will, I was like, if Joe Biden comes out as bisexual, then he takes back the power. No, but seriously, Joe Biden, this is further proof that he needs to drop out. It's never been clearer than now that Biden has to step aside and move on. That like he can't be the one. He's not the one. Can't think of another way for the Dems to change yeah, that's the strongest thing that they have. In the aftermath of Donald Trump now being martyred, like that's how he's being treated. He's being treated as a hero, as a martyr. The one thing that Democrats can do is Biden drops out. We've got a new Democratic candidate, and they don't stop. They do not stop their attacks on Donald Trump and on the Republican Party. Because here's the thing. Donald Trump living through an attempted assassination does not change who Donald Trump is. Does not change who he really is. But what I think is going to happen here is that if Trump and the Republicans are smart, they will use this to make it appear as if they are the ones who are uniting the country. Because right now there's all these calls for we've got to come together. Political violence has no home here. We can't continue this way. Like that's what all the Democrats are saying. They're like, oh, we have to unite. And one thing that the Democrats have had going for them after Donald Trump's 4 years in office is what a chaos candidate Donald Trump is how chaotic the Republican Party has become under Donald Trump. And so if Donald Trump uses this moment where he was almost killed to unite the country, to pull back the rhetoric that has moderates and independents weary of voting for him, then he will seem like the candidate who really is uniting the country. After he was almost killed, after one side tried to kill him, which that's not what happened, but that's the narrative. One side tried to kill him, but Donald Trump stood tall. He reached out across the aisle and realized that America is the most important thing in the entire narrative here. It's the American people, and we gotta unite, because we can't be having this anger and this violence anymore. So anyway, if Trump and his team are smart, they'll do that. And I already saw something earlier about how, if someone can link it, but some source was saying that Donald Trump has become spiritual after his brush with death, his near brush with death, and how they've never seen him like this before. And that, to me, I was like, oh, they're already laying the path here. They're already laying the Donald Trump has seen the light. And it is brilliant spin. Yes, it is. It is, because who that appeals to are moderates, independents, who voted for Trump in 2016, but couldn't vote for him again in 2020, and are wrestling right now with what to do in 2024. And this is a huge moment for them to see that Donald Trump has changed, that it's not going to be the chaos that the first Donald Trump presidency was. My centrist parents already plan to vote for him because he's a changed man. Right. And so that type of spin is potentially what we could see happening here. And the Democrats, of course, are going to do what the Democrats love to do, which is the high road, the when they go low, we go high. Like, oh, we're the party of peace. We're all putting out our statements, wishing Donald Trump well, blah, 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 and are going to probably back off from attacking Donald Trump, even though they shouldn't. Like, what they need to be doing instead is focusing on putting out more TV ads, putting out more mailers with Donald Trump's own violent rhetoric. Because this is now, okay, so the Republicans the Republicans are saying that Democrats are the ones who use violent words. And when you use violent words, it leads to violence. Now, conveniently, they are forgetting about all the violent rhetoric they use that has led to multiple instances of violence. They forget what happens, the way that they act when people like Paul Pelosi are almost murdered, or when there's a pipe bomb that's placed outside the DNC, or when there's a fucking insurrection that happens. But no, it's the Democrats whose violent rhetoric has led to the near massacre of Donald Trump. So what Democrats need to do, rather than backing off, rather than choosing this moment to be like, we just need to kumbaya and Donald Trump was almost killed and there's no place for political violence here, and kowtowing to the Republicans who are blaming them for this, they need to keep going at Republicans. They need to just keep using their own words and showing, oh, you want to talk about the party that leads with violent rhetoric? Like, pull up anything that Marjorie Taylor Greene has said. Pull up anything that Lauren Boebert has said. Pull up anything that Donald Trump has said, whether it's about his own colleagues, his own vice president, or groups of people in this country who are then targeted by fascist white supremacists. Seriously. So, like, I'll show here's a thread. In the wake of today's horrific shooting at a Trump rally, Trump is receiving the type of grace that he has withheld from others. Listen to how he reacted to the conspiracy to kidnap Governor Whitmer.
That they did involving Gretchen Whitmer was fake. Just like those who instigated January 6th. It was a fake deal. Fake. It was a fake deal. Gretchen Whitmer was in less danger than the people sitting in this room right now.
Okay, so that is downplaying a very serious threat on Gretchen Whitmer's life, which can you imagine if the Democrats had done this in response to Donald Trump, which they haven't. Barack Obama was like the first person to put out a statement saying he condemns what happened to Donald Trump. Hate has no home here, yada, yada. But that's because that's what the Democrats do every time. They love opportunities like this to make it seem as if they are the party of peace. They're like, when they go low, we go high. We don't fight hate with hate type of thing. And the reality is that Republicans are so fucking good at controlling the narrative that when they use hateful rhetoric, when they respond to instances, to violent attacks or threats on democratic lives as a joke, they still get to turn around and say that it's Democrats who are the violent party. Can you imagine if Dems responded with, I prefer my presidential candidates who haven't been shot?
It seems to me.
Yes.
And you look to see what happened, and trials are going on all over the place. And I guess a lot of people, Tudor, are being exonerated, aren't they? Huh? They're being exonerated. Crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco.
This was after Paul Pelosi had been almost murdered with a hammer.
How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house. Which
like this is the part that makes me just want to rip my hair out, is how handily they control this narrative when there's just so much documentation of Trump and of other people on the right who not only use violent language but mock violence when it happens. And yet when somebody attempts to kill Donald Trump, and that somebody is, as of right now, not connected to the left and is in fact a registered Republican, that moment gets turned into the Democrats are the violent ones. Republicans are victims of violence that is a result of violent language. When the violent language that's being used is when Democrats will point out, as they should, violent language that Republicans use. When Trump, and this isn't an example here, but when Trump calls immigrants or calls Mexican people rapists and thugs and says immigrants, are soiling the blood of this country, or at any of the various groups that he has attacked, or when he fucking tells his people to march on the Capitol, none of that is violent though, and none of that leads to violence.
Obviously didn't do a very good job. And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy
Pepperoni,
Pelosi,
thank you for the 10 months. Clam Slapper, thank you for the gifted. HMG, thank you for the 13 months. Kobe, thank you for the 3 months. All Sheldon, thank you for the 7 months. Mako Buff, thank you for the 12 months. Lord of Basil, thank you for the 14. Whew. Legit Salvage, thank you for the 17. Laura, thank you for the Prime. Oh my gosh, sorry. Amadeus Maxwell, thank you for the 13 months. Sean White, Dragula, Josh, Don, Jen. Okay, all right, I think I got you all.
Ruined San Francisco.
Let's see. This is a clip from the January 6th committee
they should be
hearings.
doing. This is what he told his staff as they pleaded with him to call off the mob, to instruct his supporters to leave. Over a series of hearings in the coming weeks, you will hear testimony, live and on video, from more than half a dozen former White House staff in the Trump administration, all of whom were in the West Wing of the White House on January 6th. You will hear testimony that, quote, the president did not really want to put anything out calling off the riot or asking his supporters to leave. You will hear that President Trump was yelling and, quote, really angry. You will hear that advisors who told him he needed to be doing something more. And aware of the rioters' chance to hang Mike Pence, the president responded with this sentiment, quote, maybe our supporters have the right idea. Mike Pence, quote, deserves it. You will hear evidence that President Trump refused for hours to do what his staff,
I mean, it's one of those things where Trump has said so many hateful things and so many violent things that it seems silly to have to procure them as evidence. Like, it feels as if massive gaslighting is happening, where we who have been living through we have been living with Trump since, forever, but since he became president in 2016, and then just the ensuing chaos and insanity that has been the last 8 years. But it feels like there's all this gaslighting that's happening of trying to make it seem as if Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all of these people on the right and their supporters have not been calling for violence for years, have not been saying hateful things that has led to hateful, violent acts. Like, what? So now we're having to like pull up the many, many examples to remind people of who these people are. It's crazy. Like, I have seen people that I didn't think were Trump supporters, but on Instagram sharing the photo of him fist pumping. And I'm like, do you have amnesia? Have you suddenly forgotten everything that's happened in the last 8 years? Like, do you, especially for friends who are part of any group that has been under direct attack from Trump and from Republicans. I just, it's astonishing. It's really astonishing. MSNBC kept putting it on screen like every 5 to 10 minutes yesterday. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah. But because of that moment, people are like, oh, Donald Trump is cool. Trump is actually that guy. I get it now. I get what everyone who's been obsessed with Donald Trump, I get why. And he's got my vote. It's like they pressed the big reset button. Yeah.
And by the way, never wrestle him. You understand that? Never. Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind. He's my guy. I shouldn't say this because I'm...
So remember, this was this happened in 2018 when Republican Greg Gianforte body slammed a reporter. So Greg Gianforte was a Republican running for re-election in Montana who made headlines when he body slammed a reporter. And like he assaulted him. And Trump's response to that was like, yeah, that's awesome. That any guy that can do a body slam, that's my kind of guy. And this reporter, Ben Jacobs, had gone up to Gianforte to get his opinion on the Congressional Budget Office's analysis of the American Health Care Act as Gianforte was about to do a television interview, and he just snapped and body slammed him. Yeah. Let me pull up the...
And what you thought we'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah, but there's not
the last guy that came in.
And what you thought about it.
So it's not on video. It's you can hear the recording of it.
About that later.
Yeah, but there's not going to be time. I'm just curious if you have the
speak
right
with
now.
Shane, please.
But you don't.
Sick and tired of you guys. The last guy that came in here, you did the same thing. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. The last guy did the same thing. You were the guardian.
Yes, and you just broke my glasses.
The last guy did the same damn thing.
You just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
Get the hell out of here.
If you'd like me to get the hell out of here, I'd also like to call the police.
Jesus.
Can I get you guys' names?
Same thing, got slammed. Yeah.
He just body slammed me.
You gotta leave.
Crazy. Absolute violence. And the response is any guy that can do that can do body slam. That's my kind of guy. And his whole audience is like, yeah, woohoo, because violence. That is what they're here for. That is what they do cheers for. But they're not the violent party. Okay. But Donald Trump is not a candidate who praises violence. Maple Takes, thank you so much for the raid. Zach and Bro, thank you for the 3 months. Donald Trump posted a photo of himself wielding a bat near the head of Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan district attorney who recently announced that a New York grand jury had indicted Trump on 34 felony charges. But this is what I mean, where I'm like, I cannot believe how the attempts at gaslighting to turn Donald Trump into a saint. Like, that's what's so fucking crazy. And how when it Donald Trump's rhetoric is quoted and when his policies are used by the Democrats to point towards a fascist dictator, then that is called violent. Then that is violent rhetoric that means that the Democrats are responsible for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. CNN and MSNBC were going on and on about how we nearly lost an elder statesman beloved by half the country. We're so fucked. Right. Like, oh my God. Oh, it's not just MAGA who are martyring Donald Trump. It's also, and look, I get it that Democrats are not going to come out and post, oh man, I wish that shooter hadn't missed, or they're not going to post like something negative. They're going to do the same copy paste, wishing Donald Trump a speedy recovery. Political violence is never the answer. We need to unite, blah, 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 blah. But what they're indicating, and because of how the Democrats always falter and fail, so we have no fucking faith in them, is that they are going to allow Republicans to walk all over them in these really crucial moments, to make the narrative be that Democrats and that people on the left are the violent ones. They have to, but they could leave it that way, the very bare fucking minimum. Yeah. And how do you call a guy Hitler? How do you refer to his policies as Hitlerian, which, yeah, they are? How do you refer to his rhetoric as Hitlerian, which, yes, it is? When you hear Donald Trump talk about immigrants the way he does, that is Hitlerian language. But Democrats will say that, and then this happens, and they're like, oh, Donald Trump is a great man. You're like, what? What? You're saying that this is the most important election of our lifetime. You're saying that democracy is on the ballot. That, Donald Trump and Project 2025 is fascism. And then you turn around and just, do the same like unity civil politics that Democrats always do. Trump's post was unsurprising for management. Much of, if you see someone with a tomato, knock the crap out of them. I will pay your legal fees. Trump to Cedar Rapids in 2016. Donald Trump on protester. I'd like to punch him in the face. And that every time he says this stuff, woo! USA, USA, MAGA, 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 Trump, Trump, Trump. So no, we will not be gaslit. We will not be gaslit into believing that Donald Trump is a saint and a martyr and a man of peace. Liberal civility politics is going to be the end of this country because it's too weak to stand up to fascists, so much so it's legitimizing fascists like Trump in this very crucial moment. How do you square the circle of Trump as Hitler and then wish him a speedy recovery? I mean, yeah, there's just... Trump defense secretary says Trump wanted George Floyd protesters shot. Shoot him in the legs. Like, I just can't sit by and watch as Democrats let Trump and let the Republicans seize this moment and posit themselves as the party of unity, as the party of nonviolence, as the victims. It's so infuriating. Yes. And that's why I'm like, Joe Biden needs to drop out. Joe Biden needs to drop out. Put any other fucking person. Put Kamala Harris up there. And then do not stop talking about how dangerous Republicans are. Do not stop showing people in this country how violent their rhetoric is. Do not let what happened on Sunday be the narrative for the next 4 months. In case you forgot, Trump suggested assassinating Hillary Clinton. If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is. I don't know. Yeah, he says stuff like that all the time. All the fucking time. He'll always be like, well, you know, you patriots out there, maybe there's something you can do. Oh, stand back and stand by. You know what to do. He literally suggests people assassinate someone. I know. And, yeah, and never forget, Donald Trump Jr. got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready. Oh, God, these fucking people. Oh, we're going to go to that in a second.
Come and approach us, including one person who said,
do you think that the people in this country who say walk up, not walk out, will be saying that in the aftermath of people who went to school with Thomas Matthew Crooks, saying that he was bullied, saying that he didn't have friends?
he actually went to high school with this suspected shooter. I want you to listen to a little bit of our conversation there.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him.
Yeah, and how about Trump saying about the school shooting victims in Iowa that they need to get over it? Like, it's just the double standard.
Because they think it's funny or whatever, so it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah. You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because...
Wouldn't it be great, though, if Republicans suddenly went, we do need gun control? Not going to happen, but I also don't hear them saying, no, we don't need gun control. Walk up, not walk out. Someone in Hasan's chat was like, this kid was definitely one of the bullies.
Because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much. So much.
And this was high school.
Yeah.
What did they, do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
Made fun of, isolated, bullied. But no, that's at the end of the day, the responsible party for trying to take out Donald Trump was not this, I'm assuming, angry, lonely young man, but was instead the left.
That's what he was saying. He said that he was actually in the class before or behind the suspected shooter here. And we have some movement here where you hear an ambulance or a car horn. Excuse that background noise. But one thing that we also heard from that conversation is that when we asked what he was bullied for, what this shooter was bullied for, he pointed to his clothing. Apparently, according to this person who says he was a classmate, the shooter would wear military style clothes or hunting clothes regularly as he was at school. So we're still learning a lot more. We can tell you investigators continue to go in.
How did a 20-year-old get a sniper rifle? His dad bought it legally. It's Pennsylvania.
Out of the scene here, we know multiple agencies are here, not just local police, but the county bomb squad. As I mentioned last night, I saw the ATF here. It's a calm scene. It's not completely evacuated. Many residents are still in their homes behind here, but you can tell this is.
It was an AR-15 rifle.
It's definitely a focal point of this investigation as we learn more about this suspected shooter who, again, from what we know and from...
But still, if you're asking how did this kid get an AR-15 rifle, he can't even legally drink. Well, the answer is always it's America and anybody can get a gun.
Public Records does not have a criminal history, not a large social media presence, so there's a lot more information that folks are looking to learn, Tom.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Or follow us on social media. You need to look at this cat turd tweet. I've noticed not one Democrat politician has called for more gun control since yesterday's assassination attempt. Wow, cat turd. Also, that's not even true. I'd like to know more about the shooter's parents. I wonder if his Republican father forced him to register. Well, from what I was reading, his dad is not talking to the media right now. His dad was a registered libertarian. His mom was a registered Democrat, which is pretty typical for the area that he lived in. But this is one of those things where more information will trickle out over the days, of course. People are going to be obsessing over every single detail to do with this kid. And the weird thing is that for a 20-year-old, he actually has pretty much no online presence. All they know is that he liked video games, and there's really not much that they know about him. And so there's nothing to pour over and dissect politically besides the fact that he was a registered Republican, besides the fact that there was this $15 donation to Progressive Turnout Project PAC that was made on the day of Joe Biden's inauguration. He had a Discord account. They're trying to get into his phone. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, the thing is that you can already see the elements of this kid's life that will be that there will be like a narrative spun from it. Oh, video games violence. Oh, $15 donation to Progressive Turnout Project PAC, which is not a progressive, like, this is not a legitimate PAC, by the way. This is one of those scammy ones. It doesn't actually support progressive causes. Oftentimes the word progressive gets put in front of PACs like this because they think it will appeal to, voters on the left. But yeah, Ryan Graham reported on this. It's one of those scammy firms that blast people's inboxes relentlessly. But because there's so little about this guy and his motives and who he was, people are pouring over every single thing that is available. This donation happened when he let's see, 3 years ago, so he would have been 17, couldn't even vote yet. Very strange. It was on the inauguration day. It was $15. Like, this is one of those things that I don't think conclusions can be drawn from any of this. Okay, still a lot of info coming out to keep track of. But same with him being a registered Republican, because he, to my understanding, had not, like, there's no voting records to his name. I read that the dono was for lost bet. Well, there's people who are speculating. So just remember, guys, a lot of what we're seeing online is speculation. Doesn't matter what side it's coming from. People are just trying to fill in the holes. They are trying to they're trying to fill out the narrative here so that it makes sense. We want a full biopic on this guy. Classmates in his class said that he tended to lean towards the right, but there has been nothing confirmed that he had like white supremacist or right-wing leanings like some other shooters in recent years who have put out like white supremacist manifestos. There's also nothing that ties him to Donald Trump. Now, the other thing, guys, look, the dono was not from another man named Thomas Matthew Crooks. The dono is confirmed to be from him. So again, when I talk about confirmation bias, this goes for all of us. For those who are like, oh, registered Republican, okay, great. That helps my side. That helps fit my narrative here. Even though that is confirmed, we're still looking to fill in the pieces here. So then when you see, $15 donation to Progressive Turnout Project PAC, okay, so this doesn't totally fit the narrative. This is going to be used by the right as evidence to point to how, he was actually a leftist, which that's not what this PAC is in the first place. Important to know what this PAC is. It's scammy as fuck. The money that goes to it doesn't actually go to supporting causes and candidates. It just gets like passed around various affiliated fundraising groups and like pays people who work for these groups. So just pointing out though that like examples I've seen coming from the left are people who are like, this isn't actually him. It's an older man named Thomas Matthew Crooks. That's not true. It is Thomas Matthew Crooks. But again, can't really draw conclusions from this. And then people who are saying, this was a bet. Well, we don't know for sure that this was a bet. It seems odd that it was made on the day of Joe Biden's inauguration and then it's a $15 donation and then it's one of those PACs that spams your email repeatedly. But like I said, we can't state things as fact when it's still speculation. I think I actually did I have this pulled up on, maybe this wasn't CNN. I think this was, so far. Okay. So far, investigators haven't found any evidence on social media or other writings by Crooks that might help identify his motive for the attempted assassination, law enforcement officials say. But CNN interviews with more than half a dozen former classmates and neighbors of Crooks painted him as quiet, with classmates remembering him as a good student and something of a misfit. A review of public records suggests he may have had divergent political leanings, with Crooks registering to vote as a Republican but making a small donation to a Democratic-leaning group. Crooks had no facial expression when he walked through the school hallways, Jason Kohler said. He wasn't like with the clique, so he always had, I guess, a target on his back. Sarah D'Angelo remembered Crooks as a quiet kid, not obviously political or violent in any way. She said the only time he spoke with her was when their class was waiting for their graduation ceremony to start. A third classmate who asked not to be named said that Crooks was very smart, took honors classes, and was shy. She said that he had a group of friends who were fairly conservative, some of whom would wear Trump hats. There was definitely chatter about him just looking a little different, almost a retro nerd vibe. Crooks' high school experience was interrupted by the pandemic. When this classmate heard that Crooks was identified as the Trump rally shooter, she said, I was shocked. I couldn't believe he did something that bold, considering he was such a quiet and kept to himself kind of person. Apparently, he also was very COVID conscious. Like, long after masks were required in school, he would still wear a mask. I don't know. Again, we don't know what his health condition was. We don't know what that was related to. Mike McFly, thank you for the Prime. There's a positive coverage for him because he's cis white male. Imagine if he wasn't. Well, it's interesting because this is a unique case where the people who would typically be more lenient on a shooter who is a white male hate him because he went after their holy leader. And then people on the other side are also furious because of what this has given now to Donald Trump and how this has seemingly made it that this election is now his to lose versus his to win. So I think, it's weird because there is a unity in hating this guy. Investigators believe that he acted alone, adding that they had not seen any indication that Crooks had mental health issues. We were working hard to determine the sequence of events related to the subject and his movements in the hours, days, and weeks prior to the shooting. We're still very early in this investigation. His father, Matthew Crooks, said he was trying to figure out what the hell's going on, but would wait until I talked to law enforcement before speaking about his son. He could not be reached again on Sunday. Later that year, a week after turning 18, this is after the political donation, Crooks registered to vote as a Republican according to a listing in Pennsylvania's voter database that matched his name, age, and address. Crooks only cast a ballot once in the 2022 midterm general election. Both of his parents worked as social workers. His father's registered to vote as a Libertarian, and his mother is registered as a Democrat. A brief video posted on Facebook by Crooks' school district showed Crooks participating in a computer coding course and explaining a coding concept to a fellow student. Crooks can also be spotted sitting at the front of an economics class in a TV ad for the investment firm BlackRock that was filmed at his high school. The teachers featured in both the videos declined to comment. Oh no, not a coder. A spokesperson for the social media platform Discord said in a statement that it had identified an account that appeared to be linked to Crooks. The account was rarely utilized. We have found no evidence that it was used to plan this incident or discuss his political views. A colleague who worked with Crooks at the nursing home and who was asked not to be named described him in an interview as the sweetest guy. Bro, the fact that so many people are like, please don't name me, but I'm going to tell you what my impressions of this guy were. And those impressions were that he was very sweet and quiet, and I cannot believe that he did this. I do believe this. I don't think that this is the, when it's a when it's a white male shooter, everybody treats them differently. That's usually like the way that it's presented in the media, when it's like a guy who kills his whole family and it's, him smiling on a jet ski. But sometimes, like, when a mass shooting happens, you'll have reports from classmates, from people who knew the shooter, and they'll be like, yeah, they were trouble, yada yada. But it seems the through line on everyone who has talked about their experiences with him or what he was like is that he was just quiet and didn't cause any problems and was supposedly this sweet guy. And like I said, no further speculation is I guess, okay, look, you can speculate, but you can't state it as fact. Yawn, who cares about any of this? Oh my god, you sound like my fucking aunt who's like, I don't fucking care. What can I do anyway? I hate my life. Like, okay, well, just because you don't care, just because you think it doesn't matter, doesn't mean that objectively it doesn't matter. Just because you're the type of person who's like, my life sucks, so I don't care about anything else, doesn't mean that these things aren't important. You feel? But also, that Cheddar's name was like Obama something, so probably just a troll. Obama envy. Forbes poll. I saw this Forbes article. I know. Will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters? I am a diversity, equity, and inclusion expert. Please tell me that you have such nasty, stereotypical views on black people without telling me. Like that, this is all that's needed. Just racist as hell. There was another article that came out. I can't remember what publication it was in, but it was "Today We Are All MAGA." That was the headline. So the two articles that came out today. Today We Are All MAGA, and will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters? Oh my God. Sheesh. I am a DEI expert. No, Sean Harper is black. Sean Harper is black, but guess what? Black people can be racist to black people. Just like Asian people can be racist to Asian people. Just like queer people can be can be bigoted towards other queer people. Skin folk ain't always your kinfolk. Yes. Yeah, love that love this just generalization. This is such racist filth. Generalization that, oh, if you are black, then you have surely survived gun violence and therefore will support a candidate who has also survived gun violence. Now, keep in mind, this person's a contributor, okay? They're not a regular Forbes. They're not a regular journalist for Forbes. This is just, it's like an op-ed type of thing. So they always let anybody write those. Still pretty crazy, though. Absolutely wild. Okay.
I told you that we're not in normal times.
Okay, brother, you were pushing some conspiracy that, like, Donald Trump is being controlled by a Jewish billionaire.
World War III, nuclear war is this close. They just fired 5 shots at Trump and hit him in the side of the head. And the media's like, oh, big deal. He survived an assassination attempt. This is crazy town. Biden is a complete puppet.
What do you mean why is he acting like the media is not making a big deal out of this?
The New World Order is melting down everywhere, and I believe they're getting ready to kill Biden and blame it on a Trump supporter. I've been saying that for over a year. So President Trump in Pennsylvania up there gets shot at, gets hit in the...
Kill Biden, but all Biden has to do is, like, you know, open up a bag of Cheetos and it'll kill him. What do you mean?
Side of the head survives. That image of him up there with the blood on his face, defiant, is incredible. And now the deep state that's committed all these crimes and opened the borders and human trafficked and started World War III, they are so desperate.
It started World War III.
But I've told Trump, I've told his campaign, you've got to be more careful. We got to pray for President Trump right now. This is such a dangerous time. I'm in Northern California.
Yeah, you know what? Donald Trump, don't do any more rallies. No more rallies, no more campaigning.
With what would be a huge story breaking tomorrow, and it's still going to break. Massive story we're working on right now, okay? Secret mission. And it will still break it. But, ladies and gentlemen, this attempted assassination of Trump means we're not in Kansas anymore. And now they've tried to kill him with a gun. They're going to try to poison him.
Who's they?
So Trump...
Who's they again? See, this is what I mean. Like, this they language. I retweeted this dumbass earlier, but same thing as Ian Miles Chong. We are at war. We are at war. They killed one of us today. This is what I mean when I say that blowhards like Alex Jones and Ian Miles Chong and all these nutbags who are utilizing this moment to their advantage, they don't give a shit who the shooter was. Well, they would if the shooter had not been a white guy. They would be all over that. You know it. But it still doesn't matter because they're going to go forward anyway with this them versus us. They do love their pronouns now. They, them versus us. That they are that they are attacking us, that we are under attack. Goddamn pronouns. Yeah, they're accusing the non-binary. It's the they, thems. The they, thems are who tried to kill Donald Trump. Those goddamn they, thems. Now they're respecting our pronouns? Wow, thanks. Wow.
Inside Circle, listen to me. And I know you've listened before. You've had the Secret Service call me. I've briefed them on stuff. Listen to me. They're going to try to poison him now.
The shooter was non-binary.
This blew up in their face. They failed. They fired 5 shots. They killed 2 people, maybe 3. Of course, they got rid of the shooter, so they can't find out who that was. This means the New World Order is...
See? Nope, doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, they killed the shooter, but they still know who the shooter was. Oh, but no, they killed the shooter, so they can't find out who. So, but, you know, it's all part of the plan. Where is he? Supposedly he's in California.
Going for broke. They have nothing to lose now. Pray for America, pray for Trump, pray for the free press, pray for truth, and know with, 112 days from the election now, anything is possible right now.
See, and the thing is, Alex Jones, who's had such a fall from grace, if grace is what you can call his hellspit, he loves moments like this. He like this to him is, he looks at it as comeback. This is Alex Jones' comeback, right? Moments like this are built for people like Alex Jones. Yeah, he's been waiting for stuff like this his entire life. It's his bread and butter. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's like, ha, 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 yes, this is what I've been telling you people. Yeah, he does have to. He's got to pay the Sandy Hook parents somehow.
China, Taiwan, it's all on the table. False flag terror attacks, blame it on Trump, his supporters. They've been hyping that. We need to pray right now for mass awakening and mass discernment because America is fighting for its life. I'm about to do a live show as soon as the crew can get into the office. I just got off an airplane, just got here to where I was staying. I'm going to do a live show at Infowars.com/show, band.video, and real Alex Jones. I'm collecting all the notes, all the videos. We'll be live in the next 30 minutes to an hour at Infowars.com/show, band.video, and real Alex Jones on X.
What if he just had a heart attack? He sounded there for a second like he was stumbling. Did you see the InfoWars clip from like 5 months ago where this dude theorizes that martyring Trump would be good for the right because it would start civil war? I didn't see that, but it sounds like something he would say.
Pray for President Trump. He needs to get out there and speak immediately about this. He's got to be very, very careful, obviously, in the future. But again, pray for Trump, pray for America. The deep state has overplayed their hand. They're completely screwed, which means they're going to strike back big time.
What? They're completely screwed. Also, what is this fucking angle? This is like ending. Thank you so much for that final shot. Cinema, man. Woo. Wow. I hate how many people are legitimately so excited over what happened on Sunday. And it's so obvious. It's so clear that they are frothing at the mouth. That the truth is they don't care that Donald Trump was almost killed from a matter of, oh my God, I can't believe Trump could have been killed. There are certainly followers of his who have like an emotional connection to Donald Trump, who care about him. Like, I'm not talking about voters. I'm not talking about people who love Donald Trump in that regard. I mean, all the grifters, all the incendiary mouthpieces who have made their living off of peddling these conspiracies, off pushing this bullshit narrative that, that they are coming for us, that it's going to be a civil war type of thing. This is good for business. I know, guys. I know. Okay. I'll probably wrap this up soon, but I do want to see Biden speech today. Biden remarks on Trump's attempted assassination. Okay, I just need a minute. If this weren't so serious because of the implications of because what this bodes for the future of our country, it would just be so funny. Like, I'm sorry, it is something that seems straight out of Idiocracy. Like, 2 days ago, this timeline, 2 days ago, Biden remarks on Trump's attempted assassination. I would have thought that that was an Onion headline. I would have thought that that was like a South Park sketch. I'm like, I cannot fucking believe. I can't believe this timeline we are living in. Biden remarks on Trump's attempted assassination. The most recent one is on the right. Is it? Oh, is it not this? Oh, God. How did we get... I know. It all feels like parody. Now, Hasan said that if he died, it would have been much worse. Oh, I totally agree with that. Let me be clear. If Donald Trump had been killed, it would have been disastrous. I firmly believe that. I never did not think that. It's terrible that he is going to be able to use this to fuel his election, to get independents and those who have previously voted for him but didn't vote for him in 2020 to vote for him again, that he'll be able to like ride this white stallion through the next 4 months, that it's like giving him cover. He and the Republicans are already using this as cover to deflect from criticism, because how can you criticize the guy that they tried to kill? I did everything right and they tried to assassinate me. Oh, now you're attacking me? Well, we know what happened last time you attacked me. We know what happened last time. Last time, one of you tried to kill me. You're trying to kill me again. Like, that's why I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my fucking mind. So all of that is terrible, but I also recognize that if Trump had been killed, it would have been madness. There would have been so much violence. And of course, like, the Proud Boys and other white supremacist militant groups are already calling for violence, but they can only do so much, or I guess like they can only kind of use the attempted assassination to an extent versus an actual assassination. It's like they're role playing. Yeah. Now, not saying that they're not a threat, but it would be totally different if Trump had actually been killed. It would be total chaos. Do you think that it will sway people? Maybe the impression will motivate Democrats to try to stop Trump. Oh, Democrats are not motivated to try to stop Trump, because if they were, they would do anything possible to get Biden the fuck out of there. No, to me, they don't give a shit. The Democrats want to lose. That's how it feels. Or they're fine with losing, let's say. Good logos. Thank you for the prime. Now, as far as, do I think that this, what'd you say? Do I think people will vote? Sorry, I can't find your. Do you think it will sway people? I think it depends on, I think it depends on the people. Like, if you're talking about his base, I mean, they're as fired up as ever, but nothing was going to deter them from coming out to vote for Donald Trump. If you're referring to college-educated Republicans who right now are identifying as like centrists or independents because they don't like the direction that the Republican Party has gone, it's just been chaos. Donald Trump presidency has thrown this country into disarray, blah, 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 who are like looking for a reason to vote for Trump in 2024. This is certainly a reason. And like I said earlier, depending on how Trump continues to spin this, could provide even more of a reason. You know, because think about it, like, okay, if you're someone who you're college educated, you have, you know, you've always voted Republican, you voted for Trump in 2016, but then things were so fucking chaotic that in 2020 you didn't vote for Trump, but you're still a Republican. You just are not a diehard Trump Republican. This absolutely could be a path forward to justify voting for Trump. To see this guy who I did everything right and they tried to kill me, who was shot and who like raised his fist in the air and then afterwards was like, we need to unite this country, blah, 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 who's like spiritually changed, etc. That could be motivation for people. Here's what I will say. And I know that this is anecdotal. But I have seen a number of people who I follow on Instagram, who are people in my life, who I did not think were Trump supporters, but who have posted that photo of him fist pumping, who have posted like heart American flag emojis, we need to come together, political violence is not the answer type of thing, which is indicating to me that they're using this moment to like voice their support for Trump, but in a way that feels safe. In a way where like if they had done it before, people would be like, what the fuck? But now they can be like, look what happened to Donald Trump. And look at how victorious he is, though. Look at what a hero he looks like. That's the guy we've been looking for. That's the one to lead the country. It's like they're using this as a reason to get away with like publicly showing their support for Trump. But were those people going to vote for him anyway is the thing. Well, I can't tell you that. Like I said, that example was anecdotal. That's coming from people who have never previously seen posts about Donald Trump. Could just be because they're like, not a good look for me, but still voting for him. Could be those who are in the middle and have just been so swayed by the hero Donald Trump. But outside of that, like, yeah, I mean, there's a reason that moderates, that independents vote on both sides, depending on the circumstances. Have you covered how MAGA people are actively cancel culturing people all over Twitter going after their jobs for free speech? It's enraging how they turn into what they claim to hate and they don't even see it. Oh, I mean, the hypocrisy is on full display. I haven't specifically covered that, but I've been talking about like the gaslighting that's been happening with saying that like Democrats are the violent ones, that their language is violent, that it leads to violence, while ignoring just the years worth of violent rhetoric from Trump and other MAGA politicians, which their base loves. They fist pump that kind of stuff. Oh, any guy who can body slam, you know, that's a good guy to me. Woohoo! They like the machismo-ness. They like the Donald Trump kicks ass. Like, I've seen stickers of Joe Biden being hogtied. Like, I was in Texas and saw a truck that had a giant sticker of Joe Biden being hogtied. If you're planning your next, yeah. So we went over a previous thread, but it's crazy that like we're having to bring up all these examples. Like, all these examples of Republicans who cut campaign ads showing them shooting their guns with the pretense of, yeah, I'm gonna fight for you with my gun. Like, guns are very violent. Guns are very violent. And every time a Republican cuts an ad using a gun, the undertones and overtones are that of violence. And it's always like, we're gonna shoot socialism in the face. Who do you think that they're like referring to, though? Do you think socialism is suddenly a physical thing?
Merrick Crichton's Navy SEAL, and today we're going rhino.
Wow, look at these pixels.
The rhino feeds on corruption and is marked by the
Yeah, they're doing like metaphors. They love this shit. They get so horned up. They get so horned up for guns and the military and just like showing any acts of
join the MAGA crew, get a rhino hunting
like
permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
Do you think the right will ease up on guns in their ads? No. They'll just, you know what? They'll probably do the opposite. They'll probably have more guns in a "see, we're protecting America." Here's another Greitens ad in case he didn't make his point the first time.
For you,
yeah, they
came
love
after me.
using guns.
Well, we're back. Wiser, stronger, still fighting. And this time with an army of...
This is a template now. A template for Republican campaign ad is like having a big ass gun and shooting and blowing things up.
Patriots.
Sublimated aggression violence is what it's called. Yes. Whoa, shit. It's like when they take guns and blow up Bud Light cases. It's the same thing. Like, their existence revolves around military grade weapons. Add her cat, thank you for the 3 months. Dragon Army, thank you for the 14. And Mumbles, thank you for the 11. Yeah, that's what their whole like aura, their whole thing is about. Didn't Marjorie Taylor Greene release a video like that? Yeah. Yes. They all have these fucking ads. They love it. Hey, y'all. My name is Carolyn, and I'm going to save America with this girl by my side. And I have like the biggest AR-15 you've ever seen. And then I have like pictures of donkeys. And I'm just blowing them up. MTG's video. Yeah, I mean, she is the queen of...
Making the Green New Deal.
She is the queen of this type of hog content.
Into the $3.5 trillion budget. And in 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda.
In 2022, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda. Yeah! See? USA. That's all related to what happened to Trump on Sunday. And when you have people like Jank being like, that's so badass, that's awesome, this is what you're feeding into. Hell yeah, brother. You just done blown up socialism. Wow. Yeah, I mean, they wear their AR-15 pins. That's what it's all about, baby. Why would socialism be a car? Shh. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Just enjoy the ride. All right, we still haven't watched this yet. You need to see this edit. Okay, last thing, and then we'll watch Biden.
22, I'm going to blow away the Democrat socialist agenda.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Definitely. Oh. People are so quick with it, man. I tell ya, I will say, I am never not impressed at how quick with it people are on the edits, the memes. Couldn't be me. Kaya did everything right and they still indicted her. Okay, let's watch this fucking
My
shit.
fellow Americans.
Ah!
I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics. And to remember, while we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors. We're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're our fellow Americans. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back. Take stock of where we are, how we go forward from here.
Okay, so obviously they're not doing it right now because of civility politics, because it would be a bad look, etc. But if I know the Democrats, then I know that this is still how they're going to run things, where they need to connect the dots for the American people. How is violence happening in this country? Where is it coming from? Show the examples. Show the examples of white supremacist mass shooters who directly cite Donald Trump as their inspiration, okay? Or white supremacist militia groups who are like, you tell us when to go, champ. We'll march on the fucking Capitol. Like, they need to not be afraid to continue to connect these dots in the wake of Donald Trump being shot, even though there's going to be, of course, endless accusations from the right that they're inciting violence.
Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is how Joe Brain coded I am.
Take stock of where we are. We must stand together. Yesterday's shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania calls on all of us to take a step back. Take stock of where we are. Seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband, a father.
Wait, did I skip?
Doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our. I spoke with him last night. I'm gratefully former Trump.
Okay. You guys, I just brushed past it. I'm so Joe Biden brained. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's.
Go forward from here. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing.
Oh my God. Oh my God. The artist formerly known as Donald Trump.
Well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victims who was killed. Corey was a husband.
Former Trump, because he was shot.
Father, a volunteer firefighter, a hero.
Is this
sheltering his family
pre-recorded?
from those bullets. We should all hold his family and all those injured in our prayers. Earlier today, I spoke about an ongoing investigation.
It's not
We do not
recorded.
know the
Okay,
motive
it's not recorded, but he's very clearly reading off a teleprompter.
of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations. We don't know whether he had help or support or if he communicated with
Why the
anyone
fuck
else.
did they not pre-record it, man?
Law enforcement professionals, as I speak, are investigating those questions. Tonight, I want to speak to what we do know. A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. We've traveled before throughout our history.
And
Violence
what we do
has
know
never been the
is,
answer.
I'm a nasty
Whether
girl,
it's with members of
nasty
Congress of both
girl.
parties being targeted and shot, or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th,
Yeah.
a brutal attack on the spouse of former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, or information and intimidation on election officials, or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor, or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump. There is no place in America for this kind of violence, or for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Political violence cannot be normalized unless it's part of our foreign policy. Then,
Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul. I know that.
do you? Because it really looks like you're just reading off a teleprompter, my guy, which we know you are. But we gotta. You know what my acting teacher would say? My acting teacher would stop me, okay? If I just was not in the scene. And she'd go, okay, start telling me a terrible memory from when you were younger. And I start telling it, and as soon as I was emotionally dropped in, then she'd go, and now go back to the scene. And then I would, from that place, from that emotional place, pick the scene back up.
My fellow Americans believe it as well. And some have a different view as to the direction our country should take. Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, or God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace. All of us now face a time of testing as the election approaches. And the higher the stakes, the more fervent the passions become.
I hate you.
This places an added burden on each of us to ensure that no matter how strong our convictions, we must never descend into violence. The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record and offer their own vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution and the rule of law, to call for action at the ballot box, no violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree.
No, you want to know how democracy should work? Democracy should work where you see that democracy don't want you, that the democratic voters, part of this democracy, do not want your old crusty ass. And so you, for the sake of democracy, for the sake of the fact that people ain't interested, should step down, should retire, and hold on to the remains of, I don't know, your fucking legacy.
We compare and
Alt
contrast
F4
the
the
character
campaign.
of the candidates,
Alt
the
F4.
records, the issues, the agenda, the vision for America.
I'm sorry. Did I miss him saying battle? I'm.
Should work. No violence on our streets. That's how democracy should work. We debate and disagree. We compare and contrast the character of the candidates, the records, the issues, the agenda, the vision for America.
Trumo, thank you for the 7 months.
We resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it at the battle box.
I'm so checked out whenever I'm listening to Joe Biden. I'm checked out, and I'm also just like, yeah, I know what he means. I just speak Biden now.
Not with bullets.
He worked really hard on that delivery, too. He delivered that strongly. The battle
The power to
bots.
change America should always rest in the hands of the people.
I like when he's starting to stumble, his very Botoxed eyes get wider, but he can't really move his face as much, so it's just kind of like
The hands of would-be assassin. You know, the path forward through competing visions of the campaign should always be resolved peacefully, not through acts of violence. You know, we're blessed
see
to
the
live in the greatest
teleprompter above
country
his
on earth,
head,
and I
yeah.
believe that with every soul, every power of my being.
Look, presidents use teleprompters. Okay, it's not the teleprompter that's the problem. It's the fact that Joe is just every time he gets out there, you go, I don't feel reassured.
So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit to make America so.
He's the problem.
Think
Yeah.
about it. What's made America so special? Here in America, everyone must be treated with dignity and respect, and hate must have no safe harbor. Here in America, we need to get out of our silos,
Amen.
where we only listen to those with whom we agree. Where
Amen.
misinformation is rampant, where foreign actors fan the flames of our division
He
to
tried
shape
not
the
to say
outcomes
make
consistent
America
with
great
their
again.
interests.
You know what? Joe Biden should just take Make America Great Again, okay? Take Make America Great Again. Make it your thing. Make America greater
Ours.
again.
Let's remember, here in America, while unity is the most elusive of goals right now, nothing is more important for us now than standing together. We can do this.
Lean into Blue MAGA.
You know, from the beginning, our founders understood the power of passion.
Dude, I mean, at a Biden rally, there were people shouting, lock him up, about Donald Trump. So he's halfway there.
So they created a democracy that gave reason and balance a chance to prevail over brute force. That's the American we must be. An American democracy where arguments are made in good faith. An American democracy where the rule of law is respected. An American democracy where decency, dignity, fair play aren't just quaint notions, but living, breathing realities. We owe that to those who come before us, to those who gave their lives for this country. We owe that to ourselves. We owe it to our children and our grandchildren. Look, let's never lose sight of who we are. Let's remember we are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. God bless you all. May God protect our troops.
To shining. See, God protect our troops. Because, you know, we out here slaying. We're the troops, you guys. See you at the battle box. Protect our troops. Yep. Because we are out here slaying. Deanie, thank you for the bits. In other news, hi.
Get our borders, our economy, the worst inflation ever. We have the politics on our side. We have the policies on our side that will make America great again, and they don't. They will only.
Okay. First of all, her necklace says Jewy Diva. Girl, what? Second of all, I always forget that Azalea Banks stands Donald Trump. Do you remember? In 2016, she was all about Donald Trump. And then the Access Hollywood video came out, and Azalea never kowtows to pressure. Like, that's been her whole thing, is that she pisses everybody off because she goes after everyone. But she pulled it back. And after he was elected, then she's like, that's my fucking hero. Donald Trump is my guy. He's my fucking hero. And she said she was voting for him in 2020. She's now said that she's like, again, all aboard the Trump choo-choo train and is voting for him in 2024. And that's why she's at the rally. Because sometimes I think because Azalea is Azalea, we'll see her at a Donald Trump rally and be like, oh, she's just being Azalea. She's just being chaotic. But also, she has said that she loves Trump. Wait, I thought she was British. No. Oh, not at all. Azalea was just mad because she got roasted hard on Wild and Out. Was that recent? I didn't see that.
We continue to destroy our nation.
Look at her fucking eyes here, though. This, like...
On our side, we have the policies on our side that will make America great again, and they don't. They will only continue.
Also, girl, you cannot wear that necklace.
To destroy our nation. Our nation is...
You cannot wear that necklace.
Get off borders.
Nope. No. Azalea. Girl. No. Why? Why is she like this? Just a fucking mess. I know. Is her other necklace the Little Mermaid? It looks like it. The conch shell. Releasing 2 and 2 and then being like, this is the biggest betrayal. She does this though. She really does. Okay. I oh my God, it's already 9 o'clock. I haven't even gotten my Shelley Duvall tribute. Classic. Okay. I'm going to pull up. Okay, do I get to this tonight? I want to do that. Oh, wait. I have to show you guys this first. I was laughing so hard. Twitter's AI is doing great. Vice President Harris shot. Nation reacts. Actor Home Alone 2 shot at Trump rally. Trump rally incident. An ode to Jodie Foster. Biden-Trump phone call amidst Pennsylvania visit. Actor Home Alone 2 shot at Trump rally. On July 13th, 2024. An actor from the movie Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, was reportedly shot during a public event speculated to be a Trump rally. The incident sparked various reactions on social media, with some users expressing disbelief, questioning the authenticity of the event, and suggesting it might be staged or involving a crisis actor. Not an actor from the movie Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I mean, they're not wrong, to be fair. To be fair, AI is not wrong. Vice President Harris shot, you guys. This was posted yesterday, but this was for today. On July 14th, this predicted Vice President Harris being shot. And also, Joe Biden has informed us that Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are the same person. So it's really AI trained by Biden. Vice President Kamala Harris was reportedly shot, prompting various reactions on social media. Users expressed concern for Harris's well-being. Can you imagine Joe Biden reading these, being like, oh my God, and speculated about President Joe Biden's response to the incident. Biden later issued a statement wishing Harris a speedy recovery. My fucking God. Ah. Big challenges. Thank you for the tier 1. I think they meant former Trump. Okay, I need to grab some water as I decide what we do next. I am parched. Okay, I'm gonna have you guys do a vote. Now, do you want me... Okay. Do you want me to do the Shelley Duvall tribute, or we go to movie night? If we do the Shelley Duvall tribute tonight, movie night will be after, but it won't be till like 10. It was kind of late. Otherwise, I'm going to do the Shelley Duvall tribute tomorrow, along with my other tributes that I have. You guys vote. I have to pee. Ah! Where are we at? Ugh. Have you talked about Richard Simmons passing? No, I didn't get to him either. There's also, interestingly, there is a commonality. Okay, you guys want to get to movie night. There's a commonality between Richard Simmons and Shelley Duvall in that they both disappeared from the public eye, from Hollywood, for years. Richard Duvall, oh my God. Richard Simmons' disappearance actually prompted a documentary to be made about him. And Shelley Duvall, both have very interesting stories, very different, but that's one commonality there. And Shelley Duvall's disappearance caused people to go looking for her. I mean, it's not like disappeared off the map, like no one knows where they are. But people went looking for her just to see what was going on and to talk to her. 'Cause she was a legend, you know. All right, we'll cover all that tomorrow, though.